Okay. The heck, man?
What do you think of when you hear the term self-care? I used to think self-care meant massages, pedicures, and retreats.
It wants an update. Is that why it's not
a
showing?
luxury of time and resources. So, what changed? 7 years ago, I experienced two life-defining moments within 2 months of each other. The first was earning my doctorate in public health.
Oh, shit.
The second was being diagnosed with chronic kidney disease.
Ooh.
As I prepared to enter a career in management consulting, I was bursting at the seams, literally.
Robert Kennedy dropped off the race.
The medication.
I heard is he was all of his family been Democrat for life, and then he would have been like the front runner. You know what I mean? Like, which sounds like for vice president or whatever. But who did he endorse though? That's the $1 billion.
Donald Trump.
Oh shit! And he's a Democrat.
He's an independent.
Well, but he's been Democrat for life. All the Kennedys are like JFK
That's
was.
why they, but like that's why they have not supported him through his race, is because he's like
He's more independent or something, or he's like a wild card.
Yeah. That's why
All
that's
the Kennedys, like
all the Kennedys are dead.
brother, sister, uncle.
That's why, like, when everyone was like, "Oh, vote Kennedy," I was looking like, ideally, maybe, but it's like, if none of your family is endorsing you, it's.
I saw some videos about his family too. Let me. It's updated. That might be why it's not showing up. We'll do some self-care. Now's the time. How do you do on self-care? I would say, what do you guys do for self-care?
Sleep.
That's a good one. That's good. I definitely, let me tell you what I did last night. I always pick this up. It was a different phone. I use the Life Cycle because it gives you like every single thing you do throughout the day.
Mhm.
It's like a free app. 3 hours and 14 minutes on that. 5 hours the night before. Let's look at
3
this.
hours and 14 minutes.
That's what it says. It must mean I don't get good sleep is my feeling on it. This one says 6 hours and 45. That's good. Let's look at the date. 5:32 the day before. 7 and 6, 7. That seems more accurate. But I do listen to YouTube to fall asleep. I wonder if one of the apps doesn't count while YouTube's playing that I'm actually sleeping.
I'll do that too.
She said I need y'all to take them little bracelets off them trumpets. Oh, I didn't get. Why did I do it?
Oh, second off for self-care. Did you need any snacks? Have you seen our snack room yet?
I went in there, I didn't see nothing.
Oh, I'll show you.
It's Desperate.
You guys all have to come and see it then. And if this computer's updating, let's do it from here. Let's go do the snack room. Yeah. Thanks. We're social workers. We gotta do it.
It might be.
get a weird drink too. It's, yeah, if you want some. 11. It's good healthy stuff. It's healthy. And hello. Did you get us one of them? Think about what you guys do. Give her ideas that are helpful. All right, what do you guys do for self-care? Perdomo was in there when I walked in, stealing all my food. Punk ass. You know Perdomo? It blew up in the freezer. And these are good. That's stevia sweetened. Okay. Does anybody do anything for self-care? Sleeping? Reading. Okay. Swimming. That's pretty good. That doesn't hurt your joints.
Yeah, I just float and we'll go this way.
Right.
Just gotta like
Yeah, it's like relaxation.
I like trying to do like self-care day on like every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like, watching TV. I want to catch up on stuff like that, just like a relaxing.
That's good though. Anybody else? I just updated it so I hope it works now. Perdomo is stealing all the snacks, and I'm like, did we just become the food pantry of the college? Mm-hmm. So I took out my yogurt-covered raisins. All right, so when you guys work, I'm assuming you're all social work majors? I think you have to be in this class. Okay.
This is not Edward's.
We often have crisis management. Excuse me, I'm sorry, literally meetings have gone all day, and then after this class, go all day. So I haven't eaten, right? And this is a good quote about how the other becomes illuminated, especially as a social worker, their hopes, their dreams, their ideas. And then we put ourselves second, which isn't always the best. Damn. So I thought it was working. That stinks. If it doesn't want to work, I'll feel sad. And so if you've had me before, I know you've already seen the PowerPoint, but I try to at least do within the first few weeks something on self-care, because you guys are probably feeling the burn right now. I'm guessing. Yay. And as a social worker, and if you have kids, that's hard, because how many distractions do you get? People are like, and I thought good and well about this. Why do I have so many open windows? Like literally, I get distracted every 15 minutes on the 15-minute. So I'm in the middle of things at all times. That's not the best way to do it. You've got to learn how to multitask in social work. What do you all do for work right now? If you do any work.
Like working, like money-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the military. Let's see. Red Robin.
Okay.
I'm a tutor here.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing president.
Okay.
I got another job. Tutor. Oh,
How much does that pay?
I'm a resident. My pay got cut, but I was making $18.25 an hour.
That is very good. It was probably the new cost of living, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was a supervisor. Now I'm not a supervisor no more. I'm just
Okay.
regular tutor, so now I make about 14,
Mhm.
13.
Okay.
Still decent money in college.
Yeah.
And I only got to work 10 hours, so I'm not complaining.
Anyone else?
I work at the Milano Market
Mhm.
downstairs, like where the wild is at the store.
How far away is that?
It's in the CAF, the student center.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
downstairs, so it's the wild and then it's the store. I work in the store.
Mm-hmm.
I also work at Kroger.
They're supposed to pay well.
I only get paid $13.25.
Okay.
But we do get paid every week.
I was
So
about to say, y'all get paid every.
yeah, they get paid every week. So it's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually about to start also doing work study in my foundation building
Okay.
where I stay at.
Did they offer a lot of work study positions?
Not for real. It's you gotta get it where you figure, because a lot of people want to do work study and you're only allowed so many hours of money from the school. 'Cause
I did it. Yeah, I did it all the time. I did it in the library. I did it in California when I taught English as a second language. That was 15 an hour. I don't know what they pay now. It was $7 an hour to work in the library in Ohio or Kentucky.
I think I get paid either 10 or 12.
Okay.
The problem with work study here is like, you can get paid 17 or 18 or whatever, but once you hit your $1,000.
You're out of work study. I remember that too, because I would max it out.
Just $1,000.
That's not much.
2,000. I don't know why they dropped it to 1,000.
I feel like the government is kind of broke, and now we got, like you said, that independent politician dropped out of the race. So what's that going to do? I was like, who did he endorse? Because that's the key right there. It was RFK Jr. Have you guys heard of RFK Jr.?
But you know what's crazy to me? He never sat right with me. Like reading him, like on the like, he just,
That is
a
interesting.
lot of his policies and stuff that he endorsed, like said that he was gonna do, is just it never really had any structure with it. Like, okay, you're saying you're gonna do these things, but how are you gonna do it? And it was never a how, it was just what he was gonna do, and
Mhm.
how he was gonna do it. So I really didn't sit well with me. And his eyes twisted, so bro.
He has Parkinson's.
I know, but it just.
Oh, RFK does?
It just didn't sit right.
Really?
with me. Like, I don't know, like you ain't never met somebody and just be like, yeah, they don't
Mhm.
sit right, that's how it was from
But he has what?
Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
And then did you hear about this? I just heard about this like Because I guess people were speeding through the park. If you guys have ever been through Central Park, and somebody,
With all the attention on Harris and Trump, it can be easy to forget that there's a third person running for president. Even easier to forget if you have a brain worm. I'm talking about presidential candidate and zombie hiding in your flag closets.
there you go.
RFK Jr. Jr. here got some bad news yesterday when a New York Supreme Court judge ruled that he is disqualified from the New York ballot over falsifying his residence.
Oh, wow.
Now, prosecutors, you're right. Prosecutors proved he actually lives in Los Angeles thanks to a federal statement of candidacy with the California address and a social media video in which Kennedy talks about training ravens at his Los Angeles home. Foiled again. And he would have gotten away with it too if he wasn't the weirdest person on the planet. RFK Jr. claims this is just a misunderstanding because he has considered New York his home since childhood and intended to return.
Okay.
That doesn't make it better.
The bear is what I'm
Saying you're in
interested
good
about.
hands, Mr. Johnson.
They only give him press when something negative. They didn't
Interesting.
allow him to debate. He was not allowed to debate in the, So
Right.
it was like, no, they're not even giving him a chance.
Now to more
It's-
limited.
But I mean, when it comes to debating is historically for
The two main,
in the Democratic parties, even though third party candidates do have a chance to run as president.
I think you need 5% of the vote.
Yeah, but
to-
like most of the
debate.
voting, when it comes to voting for a president, the majority of votes will either go to the Republicans or the Democrats. So-
This is what I
They
was,
still be having debates though with like
Like independent parties
Yeah,
too.
but the
And I
thing is,
think that's our downfall, is we keep giving the same people attention
mhm.
over and over. again.
Right, I can see that. No, this,
but I understand, but like, after he dropped out, he gave his attention to the Republicans.
that is crazy because they were lifelong Democrats. All of the
Yeah,
Kennedys
so it's
were
like,
lifelong.
was he really an independent candidate or was he a pawn?
Honestly, it's
Just
really
with
hard to tell. It's so hard to tell, and it's.
Have you guys seen this yet though about
Oh, yeah.
the bear? Have you really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the bear thing. I just,
Because when I see
Jr.,
like,
the
'cause when I
independent
see
presidential
Kennedy,
candidate,
well,
says he
my
brought the
grandma
dead
picture
bear
of
to
John
Central
F.
Park.
Kennedy on her wall.
I pulled over and I picked up the bear and put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear.
He confesses in a new video that he left the dead bear right there with an old bicycle beside a Central Park bike path because
I
he
didn't know
thought
that.
it would be, quote, amusing. In the videotaped confession, Kennedy recounts the strange tale
is that
to
why you dropped
controversial
out?
comedian Roseanne Barr and says he is talking about it now because a fact checker for the New Yorker told him that the magazine plans to publish an article that details Kennedy's role in bringing the dead bear to Central Park. Anyway, Kennedy recounts how he saw a woman hit the bear with her car on a highway in upstate New York. He says he picked up the dead cub, intending to skin it and store the flesh in his refrigerator. But after a day of falcon hunting,
That's strange.
he had to rush to a dinner at Peter Luger's Steakhouse in Brooklyn, where steak for two these days costs about $150. And then he had to go to the airport.
I think he says people sped through Central Park, so he wanted to have something that would slow them down and say that they were.
So basically, he wanted to falsify something so people could feel bad about speeding.
It sounds like that's what happened. And I'm wondering if that's why he dropped out. It was the
That's
My
so
thing is, what about the others, the politicians that have lied and falsified?
right. Sure. Yeah.
Why
For
is-
sure.
Why is he the only one being in the spotlight?
I don't
I mean,
know.
they put
Yeah,
Donald Trump in the spotlight every day.
That's
But
true.
he's Donald Trump, he's been in the spotlight.
Like,
that's
From
true.
the very beginning.
I was cool off him when he said he looked better than Kamala. You're wrinkly and old.
Right.
You do not look better than someone who's 46.
Yeah, I was gonna say she was born in '78. Also, is she? I guess my age.
Well, no, she's older than my mama. So
Okay.
my
I was
mama's
wondering.
75.
Yeah, my mom was born in
But I know she ain't 78 with wrinkles.
Right. Yeah.
And hearing problems.
Oh no, the baby already weighs 7 pounds. Shit.
That's a big baby. That's not a big baby.
What?
7
Wait,
pounds.
who-
Well, no, I mean,
Your
well,
Okay,
these
so
look like, no,
Yeah.
like 8 pounds is usually
Babies are
like,
usually sound like 7
I was
pounds.
on
7, 8
5.5 till
was
7.5
6 pounds,
is
8 ounces.
average.
I'm gonna say, yeah, my son, he was 6 pounds, 14.
Whew. So if she calls me out now, that's why we got to do the self-care. Do any of you remember the self-care presentation from your other class? You
Yes,
might
I
not.
do. I
Do
don't
you?
think we gotta redo it again.
Do you really remember it? What class did you have it in?
Wiley.
Oh, Wiley, did she? There's no way she still has this same one.
She coming back.
So here's some ideas. We'll skip ahead. Well, first off, compassion fatigue and like things that could kill you. So the symptoms here, like persistent arousal, it's like hard to sleep because you're always stressed out. Intrusive thoughts, difficulty separating work from personal life, lowered frustration tolerance. He said Trouth almost killed me today. I tried eating one of these. He says it looks like pure mold. Sometimes you got to be going through. That's hilarious. Fucking Perdomo, he's a punk. I mean, you got to read the dates. I don't have time.
You talking about for the snacks?
Right. There are some in there, like, because they'll get stuck at the bottom and they've been there a minute. So, yes, it helps to look. And my, anything good?
Oh, no, it's just like, I was.
Moldy food.
Moldy
Okay.
food, that's been
Okay.
there for about 3-4 years.
Um,
$20 though.
Nice. Is it the office for SGA?
Yes.
Are you selling it? Are you selling the fridge?
I want to just throw it away, but I don't feel like lifting it, and I can't get the boys to lift it.
The fridge or the food?
The fridge.
How big is it? Normal size.
No, it's like a mini fridge. It's in my office.
Put it in freaking social work. We'll take it. I mean, you can show me where it, when I have time, I will happily put it in social work. I'll dump that shit out in the dumpster. We need fridges all the time. I'm trying to start a food pantry there. Okay, we'll take it if you're giving. I'll wheel it across.
If I could get it, because like I'm just so nasty.
Well, I'll spray it down. It's fine. Have any of you ever experienced burnout symptoms? I'll go through this quickly, I promise.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Like boredom, errors, that's in paperwork. Like as social work, you write your notes if you're stressed and you're cramming the notes in. That's why they recommend. I can share it. I can share it. I'll probably finish it before you leave, but I can also share it too.
Okay.
Do they let you share like this anymore? Where you like, Why don't they let you do that? The baby went from being the 35th percentile to the 75th percentile.
For which,
I guess weight, height.
wait,
Oh, I can't wait.
what's it about? Yeah, the next boy or girl?
It's a girl.
Oh, she's ready to go.
So
She's ready.
What did she do?
she said, help me. I can't wait to get more stitches. Like the first of next month.
Oh, so now?
So right now,
2 weeks early is our norm. That's why I'm surprised she hasn't said like, cancel class, come to the ER. But we'll have some documentaries for you guys. Self-care is key though. So don't do these things the poor deadly does. Are those small enough or can you read them? Can you even see them? If you have a toxic supervisor, that could happen even at your internship and your senior year. So stay in close communication with Nikita if you didn't have a good, helpful supervisor. If you had little fun, you need playfulness and humor and laughing in both life and at work. Do you guys ever get those at your job or at, you got to have that.
Oh, you start with number one, toxic supervisor.
That's number one. That's why it's like, this is key in social work because sometimes you'll get a fuzzy, inarticulate understanding of your own needs. Like, what do I have to do at this job to get paid? That's in your contract right when you start. So make sure your contract is clear. Here's what I do. Here's how much you get paid. Most of them want you to see 20 clients a week. You get $50,000 a year. That's becoming the new norm, which is crazy. But so 20 clients, and then they'll say, oh, you're such a good social worker. Can you see an extra 1 or 2 people this week? So you got to be careful as you're like, I want to do good at my job and be like, oh yeah, that's easy. Like, I love it. Keep in mind the contract. And like, if there is, 2 extra people on 20 is 10% more. Do they give a 10% raise? So just keep that in mind. No professional development. That's bad. They need to train you for your job. Even with your social work training here, every job you're going to get training how to do it. Turns experience into more competence, less anxiety, no energy giving personal life. Like if all you're doing is working 10 to 10 every day, well, let's say 8 to 8, and then you want to like forget work so you go slam 12 beers at the bar, that could be unhealthy. You might want to do different things and make sure to drink water and eat vegetables, I'll say. Inability to say no, especially to unreasonable requests, that comes up a lot, is they'll be like, oh, you're such a good social worker. Can you do more? They do it with us teaching. I'm finding out the hard way myself. So I'm like, we wrote 7 grants for $1.3 million. Exciting to bring into the school, but now it's a lot. It's a lot.
do y'all get a grade?
The most we can get is 10 to 15%.
I have a question.
Yes.
You know the petition I sent to you, right?
I did sign it and I sent it around
Yeah, so how,
for childcare.
yes, how would,
We want to write a grant for a daycare.
yeah, that's what I was.
Another grant. We want an 8th grant for $300,000.
What, they care for basically for Central?
Yes, we had it written with me and Nikita, and
Oh, if this has already been written before.
we've had a daycare before, and I bet it was grant funded. So when the grant runs out, the money runs out. But Nikita and I wrote one. I can send you what we've written, and you could be on that one also. We're going to submit it to what's called a capacity building grant. It was for $300,000 if you include like research and teaching in it. Our idea was, I could show you guys all of this, but for your own self-care, let's link it back to self-care. Like I got this kid fucking screaming all the time. I can't get my work done. WTF without cussing. WTF. Let's do no cussing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I cussed. What can we do? So writing the grant is a great idea. I'll show you guys what it looks like.
If you like put up
The link.
yeah,
Is it a
I have a QR code for it.
oh, for people to scan? Can they scan it right from your phone?
Yeah.
Maybe do that. Maybe pass that around.
I can scan it.
What, the MPA thing?
Yes, it's a petition to get a daycare started.
Yeah. Are y'all registered with IOC?
No.
How can I help you?
Y'all don't know?
And then remember, if you need to watch stuff you missed, YouTube. Dr. Trout. You guys are like seniors now, so I just assume if you didn't show up, you're watching it. It is best to be in person,
Can you make
but
sure that you reach out
yeah.
to me, because in order for y'all to host meetings and stuff like that, y'all have to be registered by IOC.
Okay.
So here's stuff you can do for self-care.
Our first informational is today, but we didn't.
Yeah, that's fine, but like, I'm not tripping. But
But
moving
Dr.
forward,
Hunt would have said something.
Dr. Hunt has been approving a lot of people's organizations, like fifth quarter, and they're not even registered with IOC.
So
They can't have no events.
How does that work?
So you reach out to me, CC Talisa Boswell. We will send you the applications. Then at our IOC meeting, we vote to have you as an active org on campus. Most of the time, they say yes. I've never been in an IOC meeting where they rejected the org.
Okay.
So that's it. It's pretty simple. It just helps, like, cause so you guys can get funding.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Thank you for letting me know.
Like SGA gives out a lot of money, but we can't give out any type of money to anybody who's not in IOC.
So what should the email entail?
Just like, hey, we wanted to make, our organization, what's it called? It's not active. A register, or we wanted to make our organization a registered organization. I wanted to know if I could get the application for IOC, or how does the process work?
Okay.
So our idea was Nikita added the doula aspect because so many people want to get certified as a doula.
A doula?
Central State Doula and Nutrition Project for a capacity building grant. We're going to ask for $30,000. Here's the 4 aims. Develop a comprehensive social work program at Central State, train 100 students to become doulas, focus on serving a rural community lacking adequate healthcare access. Particular emphasis on prenatal care, including nutrition, psychosocial assessments conducted by medical professionals. Forge partnerships with medical institutions, University of Dayton or Wright State University. I don't think Dayton has a med school. Connect maternal health initiatives with their medical schools. Implement postpartum and postnatal care program that includes sustained nutrition support, exercise science services. Specialized physical therapists will provide guidance on rebuilding pelvic floor strength post-delivery, promoting maternal recovery and well-being, and then establish an on-campus child care center designed to facilitate the academic progression of mothers pursuing degrees.
You know, we have one here in the school, elementary school.
We still have a, say more about it.
We used to have a,
We used to have one,
yeah, we
okay.
used to have a child care center in elementary school. It used to be in the communications building.
And that's what she's pushing that petition for.
It used to be called Cox Elementary.
It was-
Elementary.
Out of the elementary education department.
Oh, that's why we have like slides and stuff, right? Like if you go by SINs.
Yeah. So.
That's all there.
So literally, we got this grant together. They said we already have 12 capacity building grants this year. Sorry. Wait until next year, and that's a long time away.
I mean, it's really, I'm gonna be graduated by then.
Right.
It's really for,
Yeah,
people coming in and
even for
to
Nikita.
encourage people to keep pursuing their education, even if.
That's the main reason we wrote this. I was shocked when they were like, no, we have too many now. Because I think,
That's important, because how do y'all have shorter there for parents
Mhm.
and families, but y'all not providing any type of childcare service? So, and then some teachers may feel some type of way about students bringing their children to class, but they're not.
you can bring them to my class.
Yeah, some teachers are fine.
I get it. Yeah, some are like, hell no.
Some of them are gonna say no, and it's like, as college students, we can't work, childcare is expensive, but you're providing homes for families, but you're not providing childcare, so it's
Mhm.
really a disservice.
So yes, that was in the making. I'm doing the opposite of what I was just preaching to you guys about self-care. I can talk about self-care all day and then not do very well at self-care.
Same.
What is
You can get back to the house, what's over with? Tequila. That will bring a lot of jobs in, though, they get to hear, more jobs in.
Yes.
ELL.
I'm sorry.
What am I thinking about?
I'm sorry. I'm fast.
We're in Wilberforce, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
2 HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
GBOS.
Wilberforce University, they were built first.
Uh-huh.
Why does their campus look like a ghost town? There's nothing on their campus.
Because they're private.
And then, no, hold on. Then, see,
We're
what-
public and we get all these grants. That's why we've been writing them. We're like, we ain't going to close down. If I have to write 7 different grants every 2 years to stay open, we're going to write them.
Then I was like, if you're a student that goes to Wilberforce University,
Mhm.
most of them stay in Green and Anderson. I couldn't imagine being a freshman
Mm-hmm.
and going to Wilberforce University and they tell me I gotta stay in Green and Anderson.
Yeah.
I ain't got
Right.
no car. I'm sorry.
Well, they just now got buses for them.
Oh yeah, I seen that too.
Yeah, 'cause
They have
Central
buses.
State- the Central State started complaining about, a lot of their students not being able to get over there.
And walking
Okay.
across 42,
And that's
when
dangerous.
we got ran over.
They should build a ramp. That should be another grant to be written.
Yeah, they
So
should.
That light right there ain't never on. It's always been.
That was
somebody's been hit.
It was a whole accident last week. It was the ambulance up there and everything. I was like, I
Yep.
couldn't go home. I was just stuck on.
So
it.
why don't they want to
What
get
I
Central
think would
State
be
grant?
super beneficial for,
Who's
Central
they?
State.
Like the state, like why don't they want to get?
I feel like they do.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Well,
It-
That's why we got 1.3 million in 18 months. We wrote all these grants.
So,
I was gonna
okay,
show
wait,
you.
could y'all write a grant for a master's program in social work? Cause I hate how every opportunity is just for business majors.
Yeah.
And I just think that is so stupid.
Yeah.
We are one of the biggest colleges as well, and we don't have a master's program, but
Then
they.
you gotta go to like UD.
Then I gotta go
Right.
to another school, spend extra money where they can just go and come back for a year and get half off and not pay anything, but now I'm paying for a master's school.
Mm-hmm. We are certainly in the making on that. The problem is, like, think of how many hours in the day and how many things. I know Nikita found out this year how the babies stretch you thin. And then we do have a new hire, so that's helpful.
Mhm.
But I have noticed,
They're talking about the lady from here for October 7th from a different country.
oh, that's actually Gifty. She is new. She's also writing her dissertation to finish her doctorate. So she's ABD. She'll be Dr. Gifty. So these are some of the things. This would be more for your final paper. Of course, I'll just plug into this. The Mac seems to have everything way more easily searchable and accessible. Let's do that.
What did I need over there? MPA, like diapers, stuff like that.
Yeah, diapers, wipes, formula,
Any-
literally anything.
Is it a specific type of formula?
Most babies are on Enfamil or Similac, so that's like the most common. But, I feel like and literally anything.
So like any type of baby material?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll talk to.
Clothes, like if, it doesn't have to be new clothes, it can be, secondhand.
Yeah, it's so crazy to me when people tell me that they're not able to get formula. Cause once I got approved for WIC, like formula was always free. And then when they ring it up, it is expensive. It's definitely very expensive, but I paid $0
I
for
pay $50
for one can. For one can.
Right.
50 bucks.
If you do run out of formula,
Oh my
you could call 211.
And you know how my son, he liked to eat. He was eating.
Yes.
Make another bottle? I'm like, no.
Right.
I breastfed for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say my issue with breastfeeding was when he started to he didn't even get teeth yet. It just started the nipples were peeling and it was painful. And then, say I want to drink a margarita today. Now, that's not saying that's important. But if I pumped a whole bunch of milk or whatever for him, and then I took a glass of, a little margarita.
You have to dump it out.
I still had to pump and dump. Because if I didn't pump and dump, it would just be like, oh, it hurts so
Yeah, you get
bad.
messed up.
And at month 3, I was like, Jesus, I think I'm done. But
So in the last 12 months, we learned quickly what a 98-page grant looks like. So it's fun to say, can't we just write a grant for that? And then here's the work that went into this one, to do a horticulture therapy group with Dr. Hunt. So when you guys write your final papers, or you create your group, or how you're going to lead your group, this is one thing you could include in that proposal is funding. And so you start out by filling the application. So I'll cruise through. We have 5 faculty. You have to show your conflicts of interest. Like if you've worked with them, published with them, done that. That's the COI form. Then you have to get all the faculty's salaries, and then show how much they can only make 15% over. So it would be, assistant professor gets $48,000 a year here. Associate professor gets $58,000 a year. Full professor gets $70,000 a year.
Okay.
Takes about 9 years to be a full professor.
Oh.
You start associate professor. You start at the associate professor. So most of your teachers that have been here 5 years or less are 50. Then you get tenure and promotion. So promotion to associate professor, you can be like 60. But yes, full professor is 70.
Hey, you make up here for 10 years.
Mhm.
Can we like try to write like a grant for like our project instead of a fund?
Well, that's what the final is.
Writing a grant?
Yes, it's that paper. It's want me to open the syllabus again and show you? It's the 8 to 15 page paper, and a grant. This is what we got funded this year, and it was 98 pages. I would rather write a 12-page paper than a 98-page grant, but you can include ideas you want to add to a grant. So this, we have to put everybody and then what everyone would get paid over the 3 years. So I was able to get the 15%, like 10 extra per year is the 15% raise, which is helpful. There's still a lot to do. Then other people, we paid $51,000. University gets half off the top. So you get $600,000. Central State gets $300,000. That's where writing grants keeps them open. You wonder what they do with it, but they get half off the top.
Why do they get some money that's supposed to be for a certain?
Most people do that to pay. I don't know how to explain it, but it's called indirects.
They don't do nothing with the money.
They steal it. No, I'm just kidding.
You probably do.
Well,
That is to be still.
Then we also included Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's another HBCU. Really? It's a research one, so it's a big university.
I thought it was small.
We had 3 counselors to hire for Dr. Hunt, so that's a big thing that we're going to add to do the horticulture therapy over there. Ideally, some case managers, and then the greenhouse. So $50,000 for the greenhouse. Here's what it would look like overall. That's what the university gets. So maybe they only get 30%. Sometimes you can talk them down. And so that is what we were going to do. It's funny, as you submit this, and now every year I still have to submit a report. So I'm PI on this one. You can only be PI on one. So then on all the other grants with CBGs, I would be co-PI. Uh-huh.
So let's just say the daycare does happen.
Uh-huh.
Would that be opportunity for like field practicum and stuff like that?
That's what we were going to write into the grant.
Maybe like-
That's the idea. It would be cool if your kid's there, and then you could also be a practicum.
And I feel like maybe part of the preschool promise, where you get free childcare, maybe that could also be part.
I think that would bring more people to Central State too.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's why the one I had pulled you up was a big, I don't know which one I would search for, like.
Because a lot of people, like, even back home, when you ask them, like, you want to go back to school? A lot of parents want to go back to school. The problem is they have
Kids.
small children.
That's exactly why I wrote this
They
grant.
can't go to school. Like,
Yes.
I've seen my mom do it, so I'm just like, yeah, I see why a lot of people can't go back to school. And my sister's like, no.
We also wrote this over a period of 12 to 15 months. So we submitted it a year ago. We started on it 2 years ago, Because I mean, a 98-page paper. This is why everything in social work is so heavy writing.
Would it have to be approved from any higher ups in university?
All of
As
them.
far as the president?
All of them.
Cootie, I don't think
All
we
of
can say no.
No, he's already seen our idea. He knows we got all these grants and he's excited. It's funny because we've written more than we can be paid for. But they're not going to say no to the money. They're just going to like not pay us if we got too many. You know what I mean? Like that. They're not going to say like, yeah, you guys are working too much and too hard. Slow down. They'll take $1.3 million. Yeah, they'll take $1.3 million any day. So, and we want it for the students.
So where we gonna have the daycare, like, y'all building a new building, or we gonna like keep it like an empty classroom?
That's why it takes 12 months to write these things. Like literally you meet every week and you're talking, you're writing, you do notes, you do papers.
So could you do a separate grant for the building alone?
I'm gonna say it.
CBGs won't build any buildings for you at all.
Can we get in the grant? We help.
I mean, ideally, like we write in that students are part of this grant. So Dr. Hunt can get interns and they can get trains. They can.
No, I'm talking about like, can we help write it?
I am always open to everybody who's wanting and willing to be a part of stuff. Right. And that's why it is a paper in this class. Like I heavily encourage, go to grants.gov, see what there is out there, see what social work money and find. They're printing money anyway. We might as well get some of that printed money, right?
We have classes at the Dayton campus at Central State. The Central State Dayton campus, grant writing, they have a bunch of classes.
Huh?
They're free.
Right?
I be forgetting about TSU West.
You ever get cut?
Oh, man, be
Like,
careful.
they don't have classes.
It'll slice me right open?
Yeah.
They just stop doing it.
Honestly, I never even.
It's my shape.
But I never actually been inside.
Oh, it's not. Maybe I'll put it in there just to melt.
I didn't think that.
We were like, it's kind
But
of
no.
sitting off the
Are we answering any questions for you guys or creating more questions? Either one is
No,
fine.
I was thinking like a whole bunch of situations that I had with teaching in
Do they
general.
have majors?
That like well, I know kids that had kids before they even got here. Like I
Yes.
was teaching at Fort Benning High School,
Uh-huh.
Heights High School district before I got back into school. And I had a senior who had a 1-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
He had a scholarship to go to Alabama State,
Mhm.
and he's there now
Okay.
as a music ed major. But
No
his son
resources.
is his son is at home, still in Cleveland with the baby mom. Like she didn't go to school at all.
Mhm.
That's just like our responsibility is like pretty much on her. And he'll be back, the first break,
Right.
college break, but a lot of all the responsibility get put on
Sure.
her.
Here's some music pick, just
But yeah.
What music was it?
Let Out by Lotion.
Nice.
What was I gonna say? Because last year was it was like 3 freshmen, and it's another person in my class, or a couple in my class, like they
Had
have
kids. Yeah.
and they have to leave their kids at home.
Yeah.
With their parents, and they don't get to see their kids until like break or.
Mhm.
like,
You think
after
these
a-
numbers are true? That 16% of Black population experience mental health,
Mhm.
12 to 50% have mental health issues. CSU has observed a 60% increase in the number of students seeking intervention for depression since the pandemic. That was
Yeah.
Dr. Hunt telling us these stats. Therapeutic horticulture is a calming activity for the purpose of healing through interaction with plants. This is the group we were creating, a horticulture therapy group. Several studies show that we called this the THC grant. I still can't believe they accepted it because we called it a THC
I thought
grant.
that was what- I'm not gonna lie.
Like I thought they'd say, no, you can't do. Anyway, research aspect of the we'll look at pre and post mental health of students who participate. And some of you said you did this with Dr. Hunt. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. The teaching aspect, well, I'm developing the course right now. Dr. Hunt will teach horticulture therapy. And then, so here's what it looks like when you submit it. You got a PD. That became me, so I can't be a PD on any other grant. I don't have a PhD either. They fucked that up. I got an EDD. And then co-PDs, Dr. Carter, Dr. Nagel, Dr. Hunt, and Dr. Carlia. Huh?
What's the difference?
It's a doctorate out of the College of Education instead of a philosophy doctorate from the university. Usually counseling is out of the College of Ed. That's just standard.
I never knew the difference between PhD and
EDD. I always say, well, Bill Cosby got an EDD. That's how I explain the difference to people. Is that good or bad? I don't know.
I just think of it as y'all are doctors.
Right.
Doctors.
Those people say that. Some would say it was less research intensive, but my program has since turned into a PhD. So while I was in it, they made us do just as much research as a PhD. Same with Nikita got a DSW. You can choose a PhD at the University of Kentucky. All online doctorate. She got it done in 2 years while working here. So then they ask you for all this stuff. You got a whole outline. Let's see if I can show y'all. But like the plans, products and results, institutional. So yeah, we had to have everybody approve, even the president. And we created a horticulture therapy grant. So I don't want to bore you with all the other details, but we at least made it 35 pages through this 98-page document. Grants sound fun and good and all, but like they take a good long time to get done. They really do. We asked for a greenhouse. We talked about, how we would build capacity. And it got funded it started this summer. Now we're working on IRB approval. Have you guys done IRBs yet? For Dr. Winbush? She teaches research for y'all in your final classes. Well, that's Gifty. She'll also teach research for social work, but for a long time, they just had Winbush teach it out of SOC 2800. And you had to go through the Institutional Review Board to make sure it was ethical.
That's crazy.
So instead of putting y'all to sleep with the details, well, here's all the things they asked us to do, all the objectives, like Dr. Nagel will do a greenhouse, Dr. Hunt will hire and train counselors, plan and operation of methodology. So if you don't have all of these components, they won't even look at it. So if you apply for a grant and it looks like this, you need a timetable. So there's the timetable of the project. We just started year 1 this summer, May 15th. Did y'all take summers off? What do you do in the summer?
Work.
Okay. Well, any questions? I know that was a lot. Alexa's here.
It was like your face turned like a different color on the side.
Yeah, it's so crazy seeing every.
But sometimes that's the only way I get it up on the screen. We almost got through self-care. Anyone have questions about observing your first group or?
So once we observe and assignments due, turn in, we're gonna present everything like here in class, right, too?
Ideally, we'll talk about it. We'll just like how'd it go, what sucked, what could you learn from it, like. Actually, your email at first, I thought you were asking about observing a group when you told me this stuff. No baby yet.
Is she dilated?
Wait, is she in the hospital?
She goes to the doctor every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I know you love just text, but you need to go to the hospital. I'm like,
I know you was not still teaching class and she's in the hospital.
Gotta make that money, man.
He said the baby gonna come out. Like, yeah, we about to go to McDonald's real quick.
She did send first day of school preschool pictures.
You did? Really?
Yeah.
Cause I'm sure you going too.
Okay. Because we took her last year and she cried, and then we took her home and then never.
It was some kids going
Did
through
she still
it.
go to school or like she school? Oh,
She took a whole year off. So I was like, please don't do that this year.
Oh my gosh.
Hilarious.
Oh, Korea. Is she in school in Xenia or is it Beaver Creek?
Cincy.
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
You drive here from Cincinnati?
I drive an hour and 11 minutes. We are trying to buy in Middletown now.
Oh, that is spinning.
That's
It's on the spinning image.
She has blue eyes though, for real. That's what's
It's
crazy.
not
I don't
Y'all
get
ain't
that.
strong. I don't look like my parents.
We all have hazel.
I think I'm.
That's crazy. I was like,
Aw, he's so cute.
He just started.
Yeah, he started yesterday.
Oh dang. Okay, so she's 4.
He started
Good.
yesterday.
So he skipped pre-3.
Oh yeah, he didn't go when he was
Right.
3.
That's what we did too. And I was like, oh no, are we going to put him behind?
I didn't go to preschool. That makes y'all feel better.
They was like, it was some kids though going through it. No, no. I'm like, oh yeah. He was cool.
I would have told them, yeah, they gotta go back home.
No, for real. Because I can't like, I honestly don't know how people teach preschool.
Oh, that's how the dude fell asleep last night. Look.
Oh,
And his sister gave him a black eye with the swing.
Oh, I
Like,
bet
dude,
that
she
happened.
whacked him like crying. So,
do
and
y'all
then
want to work in the schools?
Yeah, I want to be. If I do continue social work, I'm gonna do schools.
Because like I usually work with high school students, and the same thing. The preschool teachers like, I could never work with high school. I'm like, I could never work with kindergarten, first
I do high
grade.
school. I can't. The reason I can't do little kids is
Mm.
because of the germs.
Oh,
Right.
I know.
And then it's pretty much like you're kind of like the parent at school is like, okay, I gotta wipe your nose.
right.
Now I gotta tie your shoe after you did dragged it all through everywhere, and now I got it all wet.
He's the middle child, so he's bad.
You look at the camera like you
He's
take a
so
picture.
bad.
And you
What are you making, Jay? Brownies. Yeah.
He probably shoved his little brother off the stool, like, see ya. Yeah, the fact that there's 3 under 3 already and now 4 under 4.5.
I'm praying for you once you start snowing.
I feel like he's gonna
Every
it's
year
gonna be
you
a
guys have
problem.
a kid.
It's gonna be a problem every year.
I'm trying when we were calculating this happened when it was snowing, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. Well, COVID,
Wait,
all
hold on.
COVID babies.
Okay, so I remember last year you was talking about her sister. Are they still good?
They are. So that is the preschool she went to is her sister's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That we don't get any outside help, if that's what you're asking. We definitely
Yeah.
don't get
I was just out in Cincinnati. Dang, you tried.
I do. Uh-oh.
I just think
Nap
about like,
time.
when it's snowing, like how like why.
I just drive. I love driving in the
In the
snow.
snow.
You drive
hmm
You drive her too.
I drive in the snow.
Which state in the 30s? I don't know. Even when it's snowing outside, and it's like I'm going.
I can't even make it here for science. I don't know why.
Do you guys ever like roll through your
Cause I was like, when the kids or whatever, she cool. Cause when she said her class was on Monday and then Wednesday was virtual and then Friday was just discussion board, I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
cool.
Oh, I love Mr. Kid class.
Yes.
My class is one-
Why? She said she's starting to take to this like film and cash method where like she's like if students miss and they can wash the film or whatever and like that's working. She's like, it's working. It's actually a good way to do it.
She needs to come back immediately
Mhm.
so she can see me graduate and not be weird.
Not get weird about it.
Oh, you can see it shorter from here.
What'd you say?
So you can see it shorter from here.
Does anybody know what homecoming is?
Homecoming is October 15th. Well, the 12th to the 15th.
So, leading a group, I would be honest with you guys. I had to lead groups at places. I loved doing my trauma group. The key is having a good team too. It's so easy, and you see that when you do group projects, and that's why I refuse to have group projects. It's so easy to get not a great team, or people have stuff going on. Life happens, so it's hard to collaborate. But a good group does take a good team. I used to have one where I'd always started. She'd show up 10, 12 minutes late every time. Oh, I would be so annoyed. Because you got traumatized kids and you got to go through the trauma group and like deal with their behaviors. And so timeliness is key. I know that we've already watched Forming. I never played it through for you guys. So we'll finish with this. This should be, it'll start with this next week.
Welcome to our first lecture on group stages. In this lecture, we will be looking at the first stage of group development, forming, as part of our group skills in substance abuse counseling course.
We taught this at UC.
As we look over the objectives for the week, I want to remind you to review the chapters for the week prior to viewing the lecture, as it is intended to supplement your reading. By the end of the week, you should be able to identify the factors necessary for forming a group and describe the tasks of a beginning group. As your book points out, there are many ways to categorize and describe the stages that functional groups go through. And despite the differences in labels, most agree that groups go through between 4 and 5 stages in the life of a group. Back in the 1970s, 2 researchers named Tuckman and Jensen identified 5 stages of group development: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjoining. This still stands as a very common way for discussing group development. You may refer to the table in your book on page 84 if you want to see a comparison of a few different ways that authors have conceptualized the stages and transitions of group development. Forming a group is a process that takes several steps, and although some of the steps may be completed, include dealing with apprehension, reviewing member goals and contracts, specifying rules, setting limits, and promoting positive interchange. This serves to conclude our lecture on forming.
And I'll show you guys next time what that looks like when you sign up for a contract in a group. Have any of you worked for a behavioral health center? Okay. So I'll show you all the paperwork you'll be trained in, all the things that with the license, when you get your license, that's the golden ticket. That's your money ticket. Without a license, it's hard to bill Medicare and Medicaid to pay for social work, and you won't see as much. Like without a license, I got $24,000 a year. With a license, I got $35,000 a year. That was a big difference. Night and day. It was 50% more with the license.
That's still not a lot, though.
That was in 06.
That's not a lot, like.
In 05. I bought a house with that back then.
Okay.
So it kept up with inflation.
So how much would it be like now?
I feel like it's 50. I feel like my intern, all she has is a bachelor's in psych. Got a job in Middletown Schools for $50,000. When she does her master's social work trainee license in January, they're going to give her $56,000 a year.
Starting out.
Pretty much, and she's still just like a social work trainee. She's not
Okay.
done with her master's until freaking a year from now.
Okay.
I was like,
That's
that's double. And then at hospice, it's $70,000 a year, like
Hospice
I can't
for
do
a license?
for MSW, LSW.
Okay.
Yep, MSW, LSW. What did you say?
I can't do hospice.
Me either.
I feel
Right,
like
everybody
I'm-
says that.
I feel like I'm gonna get attached to my client, then I'm gonna come back one day and they're just going.
Mhm.
I do like home health days.
Right.
So like, I know like how.
They pay well.
Them.
Yeah, because you still do the home health aid, right? Didn't somebody that pays like 18, 17, or 16? What was the?
Yeah, I can pay 20.
Okay.
but That's just like, that's kind of like the high end.
That's case management, right? You're a
Yeah.
case manager for 20 an hour. Can you get 40 hours a week?
I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I want to work.
Right. You would want to do addiction recovery for juveniles?
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I can do adult addiction recovery.
I agree. No, it's tough. No, that's but that might be the one that they have the most for too.
What?
Uh-oh.
Adult.
There we go. So I have the study guide and answer key for the CDCA. If you want me to send it to you, you can see what it looks
We
like.
need to change the color to Chase.
I know. It should be sponsored by a bank.
Right.
That's Chase.
So you're right. CHAS. Oh, you're right. They did add the ed on there. I didn't even see that.
Crazy.
I didn't even see that. Wow. So if anyone has an interest in what it looks like to get a CDCA, you qualify with 60 credit hours in undergrad. So halfway through to get a chemical dependency counselor assistantship license. Send me an email and I'll send you these things. The study guide.
Can you send it to me?
If you send me an email, I will reply with it. You gotta say,
I remember.
you gotta initiate. That's what I'm saying. I'll never remember. So if you send it to me. Yeah. Huh?
Is that to talk to you about something really quick?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I have an auntie who's 74,
Uh-huh.
who just had a heart attack,
Oh.
and then I guess after she had a heart attack, she had a stroke because of something about your body, something went wrong with your body, and then something else on the right side of your body going on.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
she's doing better now.
Okay.
She's been doing better progressively.
Yeah.
And so my auntie Pooh that have a professor who writes grants, and once she gets out the hospital, she lives in like Cleveland Heights area.
Okay.
She has like
Is that Cleveland?
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
in
it's
Cleveland, Ohio.
well, it's in Cleveland, Ohio, but like
Yeah.
Cleveland Heights is like suburbs.
Okay.
So she has a house that she owns, but it's like run down. Like her room was like on the second floor, and they're concerned about her
okay.
like going up like stairs
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what her concern is, she's trying to like write a grant to get the house fixed, or where she could get like at least one of those chairs, where you sit down at the stairs
Yeah, I
and
heard
it goes up.
Medicare and Medicaid pay for those
Yeah.
outright. Is she in Medicare and Medicaid?
I asked where her insurance is through.
Yeah,
But
'cause
when I told
that's-
her, she basically was trying to see if there was a way that she could pay you and get your number to help her write a grant to get the house fixed. And I told her I could ask, but I
Right.
didn't know like
A lifetime. Right.
But, like,
Yeah, for sure. That's our fun code of ethics that we always do. You gotta.
we know if we don't see you on Tuesday that your baby came.
I think so, and I'll let you guys know. We'll have live videos.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, hopefully that sounds like she qualifies for that and the Medicare and Medicaid chairlift because that's.
Yeah, I'll see you Tuesday. Then I'll also let you know about.
They said exactly what you just said too. Aging in place. Is that what you were just saying?
Yeah.
Aging in place. The program involves 2 assessments to help habitat modifications specific to each homeowner's lifestyle. Human services professionals assess the homeowner's daily activities, such as how to pay bills, shop, clean their home,
And make repairs.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure I'd contact them as soon as possible, as I'm sure it's a need everywhere for a lot of people, which is tough. It's like, man, why?
Right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. See y'all soon or electronically. Did you get your snacks yet? You need a snack?
No.
You're welcome to come back if you do. I think we're right on time.